Andrew Mountbatten Windsor has been spotted today, on Sunday morning, as pressure intensifies for him to be grilled over his links to disgraced billionaire pedophile Jeffrey Epstein. On Friday, a slew of shaming documents and images were released by the U.S. Department of Justice as part of their ongoing release of files relating to Epstein, who was found dead in a New York jail in 2019. Among the shaming files released were emails and photo exchanges between former Prince Andrew and Epstein in 2011 and 2012, after the American financier had been convicted as a pedophile in 2008. This morning, a man believed to be Andrew, 65, was photographed leaving the grounds of the 30-mansion Royal Lodge in the grounds of Windsor Castle. Andrew, who was stripped of his titles by the King late last year, has been ordered to leave the property and relocate to Norfolk. The sighting of Andrew driving in the pouring rain comes as the government is heaped more pressure on the royal to reveal all he knows about Epstein, so the disgraced pedophile financier's victims are given all they deserve and need. Pictures which appear to show Andrew crouched over an unidentified woman are featured in the latest disclosure of files linked to Epstein. The images, which were splashed across the front pages of Sunday newspapers, are among more than 3 million documents published by the U.S. Department of Justice on Friday. The King's brother has previously vehemently denied any wrongdoing. Gloria Allred, a U.S. lawyer who represented 27 of Epstein's victims, said, "The Metropolitan Police should reopen their investigation of Andrew. In addition, Andrew should volunteer to speak to Congress, even though he has denied that he has committed any crime. He should do this to help the survivors learn what he observed and what was going on at the crime scene." Sir Keir Starmer has said the former Duke should be prepared to testify before the U.S. Congress about his links to Epstein, after he featured in the disclosures. Andrew was stripped of his titles by Charles last year after the posthumous release of a book by Virginia Giuffre, who alleged she was trafficked by Epstein and his former girlfriend Ghislaine Maxwell when she was 17. Andrew paid millions to Ms. Giuffre, a woman he has claimed never to have met, to settle a civil sexual assault claim in 2022. Steve Reed, the community's secretary, said Andrew clearly has insight into what was going on. Mr. Reed was asked on Sky News Sunday Morning with Trevor Phillips' program if the government would comply with an extradition request from the US for Andrew, should one be made. He replied, "You're asking me now details of legislation that would depend on the type of offense that may or may not have been committed. It's entirely hypothetical. I don't think it's sensible for me to come on here and start talking hypothetically about situations that may or may not exist." Echoing the Prime Minister's insistence that efforts to investigate Epstein should be victim-centered, the community's secretary said, "But the principle here is very, very clear. Andrew Mountbatten Windsor clearly has insight into what was going on, and he should testify, because the victims deserve and need him, and anybody else who may have witnessed things, to do that." Mr. Reed added he had no idea if the government could compel Andrew to take part in the congressional investigation.